we've got a lot of BTC pairs coming out, which is really good. Because if you're trading USDT pairs while Bitcoin is going up, you're only gaining dollars. If you're trading, buying and selling Bitcoin pairs of altcoins, well, Bitcoin is going up, you're gaining dollars and you're gaining Bitcoin. So once you sell it, it becomes Bitcoin again.
Does it mean that actually altcoins right now is underestimated and Bitcoin is moving too huge, so the altcoins and altcoin traders are not so in hurry to make the price, higher as Bitcoin flows, and we have a small gap just to get in and make like something like an arbitrage, really, because I see that the spread between the altcoins and Bitcoin is so drastically moving. So you just need to hit the train, right? Because you understand that after the Bitcoin raises, all the altcoin will be raising up when the capitals will be moving. So, and you need to keep an eye on thousands and dozens of coins. And in case of the blockchain education, you just see the pairs appears and they're all already trading. that's the just best part I love. I love the most. I'm just going, for example, 1 or 2 days and just see the pairs. I don't care about the actually about if I am in hurry or not, because they're just making life every day for tens and tens of trades actually. That's the best part. I like more.
Yeah, you're right. When Bitcoin goes up a few percent, many of the altcoins will go up 20%, 50%. It's just really, they're very reactive, and many altcoins will outperform Bitcoin just because, the price of Bitcoin is pretty high, and many of these altcoins are very cheap. Some are way less than a penny. Some are 30 cents, 50 cents. So anyway, historically speaking, the altcoins have always outperformed Bitcoin as a whole. And finding the ones that, one of the ways to find the altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin drastically is by looking at the blockchain education auto trading to look at the signals. So what we're doing here is we're looking at the recent medium long-term signals to see how well they're doing, and they are doing extremely well. So the other thing I wanted to mention real quickly is if you have a TradingView account, you can create a watch list, and you can basically sort it by the percentage of change and see which ones are going up the most. So some of these are making some pretty radical moves today. These are daily candles. Each one is 1 day. So a lot of these are just really going nuts. And these are Binance pairs. So, to get short-term gains, you can either trade Bitcoin, and if you want to gain more gains, bigger gains, you can, trade altcoins. So, but a lot of our members in the past have used the hot signals and the medium long signals as kind of a filtering system. So they go and they look at these if they want to do manual trading, see which ones are going up the most, and take a look at ones like Voxel, see if it's in a good space to possibly go higher and trade it. So this one actually looks really good on the weekly. You can see that it's came down a long ways. It's been holding this level of support for a very long time. So this is a support level here. This coin is definitely going to continue to come up in value. So that's a really good project as well. There's so many. So you can trade meme coins like Pepe, make a lot of money, or you can trade more popular coins, Theta, RSR. RSR has been there a long time. probably since 2018 on Binance. So anyway, lots of automated signals, lots of signals that you can use for as a filtering system to make manual trades. And one of the things I wanted to mention was, besides the all the automated trading on blockchain education, if anyone wants to learn how to trade, we have a lot of experience in trading and are able to break it down so that anybody, even if they're new to trading, can quickly learn how to trade and how to make money. We do have Zoom meetings twice a week where Jonathan, who is the head of the analyst department, he basically goes through and filters 2 or 3 lists of altcoins, the ones that are doing the best, and he shows them on daily candles, and he basically tells all the people watching, this is where you get in, and this is where the coin is going to go up to, and this is probably where you want to take profit. So for the longer term manual traders, we have a lot of meetings that will really help them. And of course, now we're not only teaching our members how to trade spot, but we're teaching our members how to trade futures. So a lot of people are scared by futures, but there's really nothing to be afraid of if you approach it properly. We use tools that will help determine what type of leverage we want to safely use to enter a trade. And if you do it that way, instead of treating it like a casino, you're going to make some money. So we teach you how to remove all the aspects of gambling out of futures, avoid any possible liquidations. And one of the key factors is you got to keep an eye on Bitcoin and know what it's doing, because Bitcoin moving past certain levels will either be a positive trigger for altcoins or a trigger that it's going to go down, the altcoins meaning. So there's a lot of things we teach that really benefit people and help them earn money. So did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, so actually for the first part about the call system, I would just share how I use it. For example, I'm using the auto trades, but manually I'm going for the just to see the signals, because sometimes I have not enough, for example, liquidity in my, for example, spot account, but I have some liquidity on some DEXs, for example, and I want to buy some more, for example, or I want to appraise my my stake, because my stake is just a little to have a huge number of trades. So I have, for example, 21 buck, just 21 buck. But if I want, for example, I understand that it might be interesting, and it can be appraising, for example, more than 3%, for example, I want to wait a little bit longer. So, and for example, to put my 100 there. So I'm just looking for it. And actually every time I'm worrying that I will miss the good timing, just to enter. So look, I'm always looking. Sometimes it happens when the signal it come out, but the profit for this particular hour or so is going to, so the current ROI is going to down. For example, for 2-3%, sometimes before the signal, so the signal works, right? So it's calling, but the price is going down a little bit just before the upraising. So usually I like to catch this moment. So looking for these calls, because I have more possibility to earn more, because when it reached the, for example, my standard 3%, it will be not 3%, but 6, because I've entered a little bit even lower than the signal calls. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting stuff I'm using usually for myself. And for the for the futures, I'm always saying that if you want to trade futures, I suppose you need to you want to try yourself with 1x or in 2x's, right?
Right.
Just to make you know, vivid explanation in your mind how it's working, because mathematically, actually, for example, I do like the futures for placing the bets on the bearish market. Yeah, because you cannot go and spot and say that this coin will be going down, so you will need to buy. So to keep more, for example, USDTs, if we're keeping up with the USDT pricing, right? So pairing, and for example, if we're talking about the BTC and altcoin pairing, so I should keep, for example, more BTCs. But actually, if the BTC trend is rising, I don't want to keep them, you know, to keep, for example, USDTs or BTCs in my, so buying more because I want them to work in another way. So that's why futures for me is the best way to earn money on the bearish market. But usually, I do not. Um, I do not put more than 2x or 3x on downgrading, because so mathematically, if you guys are betting, for example, I will I will call it betting. So if you if you just put in 3x on long, it's more safer than putting 3x on low in pure mathematics. Yeah, because for example, if we are talking about 2x's, so the price should go down more than 2 times, and if you're just going for the for the liquidation, so if you're just not putting the liquidations, right? So and the if the price is going so if you're just going bearish and the price can raise only on 50%, and you will be losing something like this, right? So that's mathematically more safer to go on the bullish patterns, but actually I like bearish. I don't know why, because usually I like to say, okay, I was talking you guys, the price will be going down. Just find the right moment. Yeah. So can you show actually how to settle up the futures account? I mean, in the dashboards of the blockchain education, because how to manage the stop losses and everything. So just to be on the right spot for the newbies, just for the pure newbies.
Yeah, do you want me to show you the spot account setup for the maybe hot signals or medium long? Is that what you're talking about, or for auto trading?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go back into auto trading here and let me know if I'm understanding properly. When we set up the auto trader, we just choose which type of signal we want to get into, and then we go into settings. So if you're going to go hot signals, they're fully automated, so you have to go in there and say yes, you want to turn it on. You set up your budget, say it's $1,000, and if you want to do $50 per signal, that gets you just under 20 different signals running at one time. You paste your API key, secret key, and then you can tell the system if you want to just take regular profit at maybe like 5%, for example, or if you want to do trailing profit. Now, trailing profit's really interesting, and it works very well, especially in a bull market, because let's say you set your trigger at 12%. Now, nothing's going to happen until it hits 12% profit. Once it hits 12% profit, it's going to take whatever percent is in your deviation, and it's going to say, okay, it's hit 12%. Now we're going to set a trailing stop loss at 7% below 12%. So if the price actually doesn't go much higher and then goes down, it'll sell at a net 5%. But what you're counting on here in a trailing profit situation is that the price is going to continue to go up. Maybe it goes up to 20%, before it finally starts to go down much, and then it goes down 7%. So you end up with 13% profit for your trade. So that's how trailing works. And I have used it with 12% and 7% deviation very successfully in bull markets before. Now, stop loss. Some traders like to use a stop loss, some don't. If you're in a bear market, I recommend stop loss. If you're in a bull market, I recommend not having a stop loss because you're obviously in spot trades. You're not going to get liquidated because that's not how it works. And most of the traders who used a stop loss in a bull market, because of price fluctuations, it's going up and down, the price just wavers a little bit. Maybe they get stopped out on as much as a third of their trades, and then this price just goes up anyway. So a stop loss can help protect you against, say Bitcoin dumping or something happens that's just unusual, but it can also help you start to lose money. So I don't really recommend too much stop loss. It's just kind of an individual choice. So if you don't mind getting into a lot of trades, some of them get stopped out, but then you still win on many of the trades, then it's okay. But if you want to win all the trades or almost all the trades, then I would probably say no stop loss. So this is basically the setup. It's all you have to do is say how much you want to trade with in this signal, how much you want to get in per trade, per signal, and then API keys, take profit or trailing, and decide on a stop loss or no stop loss, and hit save changes, and then it's all set up. So that's how the other trader works.
Yeah, a few words about this stop loss stuff. So if you're just going to spot, so guys, you will not. So actually, if you have just the steel balls and you just have enough time, so you're not just like swing trader, so you can not feel in it because your trades will be just holding until the price will going up. Yeah. So for me personally, I'm not using the stop loss for the spot trading because I believe if this coin will survive for the next bull run, so one at a time it will be just high raising, right? So you will need just more time, and I can wait. Of course, if you want your money to work more frequently and you, for example, taking a 30% losses on these trades, for example, if the coin will not show the result. So guys, you will need even more trades. You will need to put more liquidity there just to hold over these stop losses, because if suddenly for example, you have 10 or 20 trades in a moment, for example, within the different types of signals and so on, and drastically Bitcoin will be going down, so you will be losing like 30% of your funds, right, immediately, because you will get less in the USDTs, for example, if we're talking about the USDT pairs. And if you will not, for example, put in the stop loss, your current account will show in drastically losses, right? Drastically losses. But meantime, in the long run, it will be raising, and you will not losing anything in the time perspective, right? So you can just put this liquidity effort apart, take a little bit more liquidity to play with the current market, and then just put it away when the market will be stabilizing, but you will not lose any money on trades here until the coin will survive, of course, because sometimes something strange happens, but actually it will not all the 20 trades, right? So it will be maximum one. So when the coin feels not so good.
Now, one of the things I wanted to show was, in addition to having the auto trader for spot trades, we also have an auto trading system for futures trades. Now, these are the recent futures trades that came out for medium term, 1 hour signals, 1 hour candles for the auto trader. Now, these are all Binance pairs. So these are how well these are doing in just a few hours. So believe it or not, the last 3 were shorts, and they all did 6% or more in profit. This is before any leverage was applied, because leverage is an individual choice in your own setup within the auto trader. So I think 6% is awesome for just a few hours being in a trade. And of course, Bitcoin dominance is also traded as a coin pair. So this is Bitcoin dominance going up almost 13%, because this is caused by so many traders getting into Bitcoin versus altcoins. And there's even a chart for that. So Bitcoin dominance went up a lot. And you also could have made money on that. So before this, many shorts, surprisingly, have done quite well just in hours. So if you look at some of these, there's longs and shorts mix going back just a few hours. Some of these have, like Near has gone up 145% in 2 days. So even if you're only doing 1x on these, you made 145%. If you're using 3x, you would have made like what, 440%, 435% profit on one signal. So these are really, really doing well in futures called by the auto trader. So and each one has the date and time the signal was produced, how many days, hours, and minutes since the signal was made, coin pair, long or short, and then these are all going to be 1 hour candles, because this is a 1 hour candle type signal. And then it shows the entry price here in this column. So entry price, and then how much profit so far has been made in this trade. So I haven't looked at this signal for a while, and I'm very, very impressed, I must say, about how well these are doing. So I personally spend a lot of time doing futures manual trading, looking at lots of charts, and I'm starting to feel like I want to get into this particular automated futures signal, because it does extremely well during bullish times for Bitcoin and altcoins. Extremely well. These are filtered very heavily, so only if they meet certain criteria, multiple different factors, then the signal gets produced, and any member who is in this would be starting to make a lot of money. So
Okay, and
a lot
how
of big
just
stuff.
yeah, so but actually futures are pretty much risky strategy to work out. So how to set up here in the blockchain education, so how to set up, what are the actually ways to set up? For example, like me, a little bit more conservative, or maybe more greedy, I don't know.
Well, the thing with futures is, when you have a lot of money behind it, as far as, if you're doing any kind of leverage at all, anything above, say, 2x or 3x, you probably want to have a little bit of protection. I would, but see, there's also in the futures auto trader in blockchain education, there's also a safeguard built in, and it will actually flip the trade for you if it starts going the wrong way. So I think that's a better alternative to hitting stop loss myself. So in other words, let's say you got into a short position on ENS, and then the price just went up instead. Well, the system would say, hey, the price is going up, so I'm going to quickly close this trade and then open up a long for you. And then you actually end up making money because it flipped the trade. But that's a better alternative than taking a stop loss. So I'll show the setup real quick. So if we go back to the futures, this one is called ALDA. We had to put a name on it because it's easier than remembering 1 hour, 4 hour candles, daily candles. So you go into results. Actually, no, you go into settings. And this looks very similar to the spot setup. So you just say, yes, I want to activate ALDA. I'm going to put in my budget, say $1,000, for example. I want to do $50 per signal. And I put in my API key, my secret key. The futures type, they're all isolated because isolated trades mean each individual altcoin trade is not going to affect the other altcoin trades like they do have with the crossover. So I don't like crossover because in futures, all your trades are kind of interrelated. So if you get liquidated on one, you get liquidated on all of them. So, but anyway, this is set up as isolated, which is very, very superior in my opinion. Now this is where you set the leverage. If you used 3x, then you would be, for every $50 you put into a trade, it's actually doing a $150 trade. So with these, I would do something like take profit. I would do 3%. So you're actually getting 9% on every trade. And if it goes the wrong way, it will flip the trade for you. You could also use leverage of 4x and then get 12%. What you have to remember about leverage is if the trade goes the wrong way, the damage is going to be a little bit greater just because you have to lose. If you end up losing before the trade flips, you have a little bit more to make up on the other end. So anyway, you could use 2x, 3x. You can actually even use 1x. If you want to go short and long both in futures, you can simply use 1x. The amount you can go the wrong way is about 99% or more, which isn't going to happen. So there is no liquidation. So that's an option as well. So let's just say we had it at 3x leverage and we're selling everything at 3%. We're going to get a lot of trades, and they're probably 95% of these are going to make money within a short period of time. The market is so bullish right now and so predictable, I think, in futures auto trading. You could use a trailing of, say, 6 or 7 trigger, and you could use maybe a 2% or 3% deviation, and you could catch some of those higher numbers that we saw. So that's another option. You could set a stop loss. Now, the thing to remember about stop losses in futures is those are going to be magnified by your leverage. So if you had only a 1% stop loss, then it's at 3x, you're going to actually be losing 3%, which is not a lot. It's very minimal, but that's also an option. If you have a stop loss, your trades are likely not going to flip to the opposite direction if they ever do, if they ever start to go the wrong way. So that's kind of a thing that you could play around with and see what really works for the current market based on your trading style, how rapidly you want to have trades turnover as well. So this is a really interesting thing that we've had for a long time. They've tightened it up, made it really, really perform well. So that's pretty much all on the auto trader that I have.
Okay, so sounds really nice. And actually, for the futures especially, I do like the stop losses because you need to understand that futures are working a little bit in the other way. So on the spot market, you can wait till it will be 100% happen, right? So your trade will be happened and you will get your profit 100%, but it's a matter of time when. And for the futures, you might understand that, for example, in usual future trading, you will lose, for example, if you're playing with 3x leverage, you will be losing something like 50% of your trades, right? And 50 you will win, but with 3x you will be still in profit in the long run. So that's how it's working in the manual trading. So when you're just making the stop loss, for example, 10%, for example, 10% from the liquidation, for example, you'll liquidate it, or 10% from your stake, for example, so you will not lose as much as 10%. So you're playing around this 10%. So you understand that if you, for example, have 10 deals and one deal is losing, so you will lose only 10% of 1/10, right? So it will be just 1%. Especially, and you need to understand, so of your depot, so it's a matter of your risks. So you're taking the risk of 10% on the daily trade, for example, right? So, and if the days goes wrong, so you will have only minus 10%, and you can struggle 10 days more or 9 days more about this. And if you're just not putting the stop loss and the market, for example, goes crazy, or it can be a squeeze on the exchange, because no matter what, the exchanges are centralized, and sometimes they have bad, for example, behavior, some technical reasons, some trading, I don't know, whale coming in and just squeeze the price a little bit. So it will be enough to liquidate your position. So you will be not in the safe. The same story with the putting the stop loss stuff, because if you are putting too low stop loss, for example, I don't know, 3%, 1%, so a little bit going down and your position will be sold out, so you will get the lose of the 2-3%, but next the price will be going up. So it's the common situation. So when it goes a little bit down, then going up, and then down and going up, and you may lose your just opportunity there. So you will not lose, of course, much money, but you will lose the opportunity there, right?
Right.
Okay. So I have a personal question. Can you analyze for our audience the Matics, Matic coin? Because actually, when we're showing my portfolio, the number 3 or number 4 coin in my portfolio is usually Matic, and people do not believe me that it will have a bright future. But I need the I need some third party to resolve our frightened.
Sure. Okay, let's take a look at Matic. So Matic has a long history. It looks a lot like the last coin that was on the chart. It is approaching resistance, but I think it'll just break through it. The weekly chart looks really good because we have these big swings. So I think this coin is headed for $1.50. And I think it should be no problem for it to get there, especially with Bitcoin being in a bullish state. The all-time high was, of course, it was in December of 2021. It went almost to $3. So Matic has a bright future. it's actually made higher lows on the weekly. So ever since early 2021. So I think this thing could easily go up here. It could end up, back near $3, and it could actually end up making an all-time high as well. So yeah, it looks really good on the weekly chart, and I'm sure it looks just as impressive on the monthly. So there's the monthly. It's pretty short because each candle is 1 month, but going all the way back to April of 2019 looks really good to me. So I really like the way that this coin it's made some pretty radical dips because of Bitcoin going down and then going up, but yeah, there's a bright future on this one. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm thinking do Aether, but actually, what usually I've gotten the opposite, that the Matic price is not going so heavily, for example, as Solana, for example, or as Metis, or as Near as well, because if you can see other altcoins, the Matic is going upper, but very, very steadily from the April, for example, if we're just thinking about the 1 year, perspective of the Matic. So it hasn't got the best shape, right? As other coins did the last few months. So that's why I suppose it's a good opportunity. Others other people are thinking that the coin will not show in all-time highs, but actually I believe when the altcoin season will reach us, so you will see that it will be just firing like like no one, I believe. So,
I
and
agree.
yeah, because we can see that there is a huge period of taking the liquidity in, and the resistance lines is going upper. So actually for me it's very bullish, right? Okay, so the last one more question is just again more personal, I believe, because it's not financial advice, guys. I should say that usually I'm not afraid of providing financial advices because I don't have the face. I have only the green face. And it's a joke, of course. And frankly speaking, I'm just sharing my thoughts, and I don't think that people will go over me about this. So I'm waiting the next all-time high of Bitcoin, right, on this bull run. So me personally, I'm thinking that we will see all-time high somewhere on October or September, something like this. It's my personal, I don't know, guess. And I'm waiting the price something like 120. So what are your thoughts about the timing and pricing about the all-time highs of Bitcoin?
Well, if I look at the weekly candles, I think that it could take until mid or late summer to reach the all-time high, because I really don't think it's just going to go up, straight up and do that, up to 69,000 directly. I think it's going to go up, go down a little bit, go up again, go down a little bit, and then eventually hit it. So historically speaking, if you look back to the last two halvings, the one in 2020 and the one in 2016, it does take several months for the price to really start to go up. If we look back at 2020, the halving was about right in here. Of course, we had the COVID dip in first week of March, where it went down to, I think, 3,800 on Binance, which was a great place to buy. But we also had the halving here in April. So once the halving happened, it hit 10,000, and it kind of just went down a bit, and then it broke it eventually in late July, early August, and then it really went up in October. So you're right about October being the place where it's probably going to really start just taking off for the moon. Now we do have the ETFs involved now. Also back in 2020, we didn't have the huge, Michael Saylor. I mean, he still had Bitcoin, but it wasn't like it is now. With large institutions buying it and holding it. Half the ETFs are buying and holding. The other half are actually buying and selling. So it could happen a little sooner than October, but I would start looking at good places to buy Bitcoin now if you want to become a Bitcoin holder. Another reason to hold Bitcoin, the US dollar, which is the world's currency. A lot of people, a lot of smart people are saying it's not going to last. It's on the way down. So trust me, you want to be in Bitcoin. If the US dollar fails, you want to be in Bitcoin because it's going to be worth a lot of money. And if and when the US dollar ever fails, it's going to be worth a lot more money because it's going to be under huge demand, even more than it already is. So I was going to talk briefly about how to gain Bitcoin, how to trade Bitcoin against itself in futures. Are you interested in that?
So actually, I don't know the strategy, but I can understand that. Yeah.
Okay, it's very simple. You have two types of futures trading. You have US trading against USDT, which is called USDT perpetual futures. That's the one everybody knows about and trades with in futures. There's also a different type of futures. So it's a different setup. It's called coin futures. They have it on Binance. They have it on Bybit. They also have it on MEXC. Now in coin futures, the first thing you want to do is you want to know that if you have an altcoin that's actually in coin futures, if it's traded there, you can trade it against itself. So that means that, let's take Bitcoin, for example. The normal way to trade USDT perpetual futures is you basically buy some Bitcoin against USDT and then gain USDT. But in coin futures, you buy the Bitcoin in spot, transfer it to Bitcoin coin futures, and then you trade Bitcoin against itself, going long and short, the usual way. So if you use, say, 3x leverage on Bitcoin, you take out a long, the price goes up 5%, you just made 15% more Bitcoin. On the other hand, if Bitcoin starts to go down and you take out a short with 3x and it goes down 5%, you just made 15% more Bitcoin on the way down. So if you swing trade Bitcoin in coin futures, it's a really good way to capture more Bitcoin instead of capturing USDT trading Bitcoin in a bullish market. Does that make sense?
Yes, sure.
There are some other coins you can do it with, especially on Binance and MEXC and Bybit. But they're top coins like Link, Matic. I think you can trade Litecoin and possibly Atom. And some of those top 10 coins are going to be in coin futures. But as I mentioned, you have to have the coin first in spot, and then you go into the coin futures, your coin futures account, and then you click the transfer button and send the coin into coin futures. And then that's where you trade it. It's also, some exchanges call it inverse trading. Inverse means you trade the coin against itself to make more coins.
Yeah.
So that's a really interesting strategy. I think I've done a lot of coin futures trading to gain more Bitcoin, and it works really well as a strategy, especially as we're approaching a time when massive corporations that have trillions of dollars want to get all the Bitcoin eventually. So this is your way to get your stake in Bitcoin, and stack those sats, get as much Bitcoin as you can, because in the future you could be looking at $200,000 Bitcoin. In 10 years we could be looking at $1 million Bitcoin. So
Yeah, and it can be happening not just because the Bitcoin price itself is rising, but the USDT, so US dollar, will be falling down into the ashes, actually. So this is the common stuff about the true crypto trader and just usual crypto trader, that people just fixing their profits in Bitcoin, actually. That's the first rule I was taught throughout the 2017. So so you need to fix your profits in Bitcoin, and that's how can you call yourself the crypto trader.
that's right.
Not just the usual guy.
Yeah.
So, okay, I believe that's it for today. So we have a lot of insights, guys, and you can see the special link down below this live. You can get the discount on the blockchain education. And if you guys want even more discount, just write me down if you're just a member of our community, and we will find out how to do this. Okay, so I believe that's it. We will continue to watch about the Bitcoin price. We will watch about everything. So guys, love you all. Bye bye.
Thank you.